It's time for Talking Sports, Birmingham's only weekly sports update to put you in the game. Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Now, here is your winning action host, Keefer, and the legend.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Talking Sports, Week 3 of college football. Guys, the season's 1/4 over after this. I mean, you wait for months and months, and then it's here and it's just gone. But anyway, we are going to enjoy every moment. We've got a great show for you coming up today. Kip and the legend, as always, and we have a very special guest, legend.
The man, the one, the only, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You know who he is. DJ K-Dub. Welcome to the Talking Sports Show, Dub.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me on once again, my second time.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can keep this going. I appreciate you guys having me on.
I see
again.
all this hardware here. You trying to be like Nick Saban, man. I mean, I seen Nick's Geico commercial with all them rings. I'm trying to be like Nick, man.
No, actually, this is the Sons of Saban chain. So that's what the SOS stands for. It is the Sons of Saban chain. And there's only one of them, and I have it. So
Ooh, I love that.
no turnover chain, but the Sons of Saban chain.
For the couple of you in the audience who may not be familiar with DJ K-Dub, this is a guy that is a legendary sports talk caller and expert analyst of all things college football, particularly Alabama.
I am.
And
he is.
K-Dub and the legend,
He is.
we've really had a history on this show of bringing you the most iconic and well-known sports personalities from the media side, and K-Dub is certainly in that classification, so we're glad to have him back again. I asked him, legend, before, though. I said, because he does a legendary tailgate party down at Tuscaloosa for home games. I asked him, did you guys kick it off last week? He said,
Hey, it was too hot. Hey, Coach, sorry, it was too hot, Coach, the tailgate, man. It was way too hot for that, man.
So, full disclosure, K-Dub tailgated in the air conditioning last week, but he will be back before the end of the season.
We'll be out there. We'll be back.
That sounds great. All right, well, we got a lot of business to get to. We're going to start with the Legends Top 10.
Yeah.
Now, you got USA Today and the AP and ESPN. This is the official poll. But I got a couple bones to pick. Number 1C. K-Dub, I think this might be a slight overreaction to last week's Texas game.
Well, of course, you know, they do this. We only have 2 games, sample sizes. The legend, of course, overreacting as usual, going with this LSU hype. But, hey, 1C, I mean, no.
Legend, defend yourself.
Well, here's the problem. I want somebody in the SEC to get in the ring and challenge us, other than Georgia, who's got a mental problem and can't overcome it to defeat Alabama. We know they got mental issues when it comes to Alabama. I want somebody to get in the ring. And LSU, I believe in you. If you get a little bit more defense and you stop leaking like a Gus bus going down the road, you'll be all right on defense, and they may challenge us this year, Kip. They may challenge us.
Well, you saw my response. That makes LSU the favorite to win the Big 12.
Look at number 10.
They're not in the Big 12.
You got UCF at 10?
That's right. I got UCF at 10, K-Dub, and I want to defend this. The nation is such cream puffs that UCF gets in my top 10. Look at Florida, a cream puff. Look at Notre Dame, a cream puff. Look at Auburn, a cream puff.
Ooh.
That's right, a cream puff. But we got these teams in the top 10 because only the top 6 on this list has any chance of winning a national title this year.
I agree with that. I like your top 6, definitely. That's a strong top 6. But that 1C, I can't get over that, Kip. I can't get over that 1C.
I was amazed. Legend a couple weeks ago here on the show predicted Auburn would start 4-0, and then he collapsed because he was mentally incapacitated by making such a statement. I think we might see a repeat of that here with the purple and gold business here.
Well, I believe in you, LSU. Joe Burrow, finally, LSU has had a quarterback. LSU ain't had a quarterback since Jamarcus Russell was huffing that stuff down there and throwing the ball all over the field.
It's been a string.
It's been a string. Finally, a quarterback.
Mediocre. extremely mediocre quarterbacks. So that's the top 10 for the Legend this week, and some interesting. Georgia busted down to 6.
Well, I'm really impressed with Ohio State. If Ohio State, I thought Cincinnati was going to give them a game. Legend went 5-1 last week, and I was dumb enough to pick Cincinnati. And I mean, Ohio State showed me they play defense like that with Justin Field in the spread. Ohio State is a threat.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens this week as we move forward, but some big games coming up next week. Notre Dame going to Georgia, so that's a top 10. We don't have a single top 25 matchup this week.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Next week, we've got a top 10 matchup, assuming everything stays the same. And, of course, a huge game in the Southeastern Conference next week, Texas A&M hosting Auburn, but we'll get into that next week. Okay, we got about a minute left in this segment. We'll carry it over to the second. We got to talk about Alabama and Auburn because that's what we do on this show. The Tide, as expected, rolled over New Mexico State, which is just an outstanding outfit. But a little bit tougher assignment. I know it's on your guys' mind. It's burned in your memory. The last trip to Columbia, South Carolina, and Steven Garcia, playing like Tom Brady, delivered a shocking upset to then number 1 Alabama. Is revenge still in play 9 years later, guys?
Hey, definitely Coach Saban said he remember it. The fans remember it.
I remember it.
We remember it. The fans do, but the team not going to remember that. They was maybe 9, 10 years old at the time. So it's going to be something different for the team. It's not going to be a revenge factor for the team, but it's definitely a revenge factor for the fans and Coach Saban. He said he remembered it, so he remembers it, and we remember it. So
that's right.
We're going to let you know. We remember it.
Well, we're going to talk about our analysis of that game and the Auburn game and the other SEC top games when we come back. It's Kip, it's the Legend, our special guest, K-Dub. You're watching Talking Sports on ABC 3340. We are back on Talking Sports. Kip and the Legend, our special guest, DJ K-Dub. We're brought to you by Birmingham Greyhound Racing. The gates are already open today. It's going to be a fantastic day. The sports card parlay contest is off and running and popular as ever, so get out and get your Las Vegas-style experience in today. And we're also brought to you by, this segment is specifically brought to you by Kimco, which is a company that is the go-to firm, Legend, you know this better than anybody, for just about any problem that you have in maintaining your building or your business.
Yeah, they are a tri-state family-owned company, been in the business for a long, long time, Kip. You got plumbing, you got electrical problems, you got any issue inside your building, this is the Nick Saban of solving those problems. Kimco, 334-356-2005.
Don't forget that number, DJ, if you got any problems at the crib, that's who to call.
You call them the Nick Saban of this thing. Woo!
Yeah.
They must be the champions, man.
They're the champion, man.
We only deal with the best.
We only deal with the best, too.
Give Kimco a call. We carried over the Alabama game. They're a 25-point favorite here in Columbia. I'm sure the lack of Jake Bentley, who's hurt in his 9th year at South Carolina, is a big drawback. The starting quarterback for the Gamecocks will be freshman Ryan Hilinski.
Who?
Not the capital of Finland. That's Helsinki. This is Hill. I can't even say his name. But anyway, he's going to start at quarterback. The Tide 25-point favorites on the road. That seems a little hefty. What do you guys think?
Well, me personally, like I spoke to you earlier, I would actually feel comfortable if Jake Bentley was in the game. I don't know nothing about this Hilinski guy.
Hilinski.
I mean, I don't got time to be learning about him. I mean, this is just prime, one of those moments where someone comes in where we don't know who they are, and they come in and try to light it up. I ain't got time for that. So, I mean, 25 is a lot of points. I think maybe we can cover that, but I'm just not easy about that 25 points.
No, I'm not easy about it either, but I'm going to go ahead and give it because I understand this kid was ahead of his science class in the 12th grade, and actually he's a geek, Kip. I mean, I got information. This guy's a geek. Not saying geeks can't play football, but I was a geek, and I don't need to be on the football field. So I like Alabama big here, like 41-10. I think the Tide continues to make statements because they still got a chip on their shoulder about last year, Kip.
Yeah, well, don't forget South Carolina opened with a bad loss to North Carolina, a team that was really...
Oh, no, Mike Brown looking good down there, 2-0.
Max got them rolling. Last week they pounded on Tomato Can Charleston Southern. You know, all of these cupcake games, people say, well, man, they really looked good this week. Folks, get a grip. if you play a team that's consists of a bunch of junior high school stars, you're going to win 72-10. So anyway, we will find out exactly how that goes. That's the the first CBS national game of the year. Alabama at South Carolina at 2:30. Great games here on ABC 3340 we're going to tell you about later on. Okay, let's go to the Auburn game.
Do we have to?
The Tiger, briefly, the golden flashes of Kent State are coming in. A lot of people kind of disappointed in Bo Nix's performance last week against their mighty opponent, Tulane. What did you guys think?
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna just drop it to you hard, Auburn. You know, sometimes in life you just have to face reality, and you know, reality is hard sometimes, Kip. And reality is that Bo Nix is more Patrick Nix than he is Dan Marino. And when I say that, I mean all I see out of Bo Nix screams at me, I'm going to be a good but not great college quarterback. Auburn's basing their hopes on this true freshman. He's going to be good, but he's going to be 8-win good. He's going to be 9-win good, Kip. He's never going to be 15-0 good, Kip. In 2 weeks, I looked for A&M to spank them. I was just so disappointed with the Tulane game. I had Tulane in 18 points, and I was really disappointed when it tied. But at the same time, I'm taking the 35 this week because I just don't believe in what I've seen from Auburn. I don't believe.
K-Dub, Legend's like a political commentator. He's calling this race after only 2% of precincts are reporting.
I see. I actually think this is a prime opportunity for Auburn to flex their muscles like they so happen to always do on these situations. Find a little weak opponent, flex our muscles a little bit, show everybody think we're back, we're for real, and then come next week, Texas A&M, it's a letdown again. That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, those 35 points, you get those. Auburn's going to cover that. I really do. This is a prime Auburn team. Flex muscles on weak teams, and then get smacked in the mouth come SEC play.
Hey, Kim, let me declare something, too.
Go ahead. Declare.
Every Auburn game, 11 a.m. in the morning. Every one of them. From here on out,
that's what Gus wants.
How dare you put Alabama at 11 a.m.? How dare?
Gus wants them at 11.
Let's look at the rest of the SEC slate. And there's a lot of tomato can games this week, but the game in Lexington, a little bit intriguing. Florida, of course, did not look good against Miami. People are saying, boy, they came back and really looked good last week. They played UT Martin, for God's sake. They won 45-0, big deal. They're taking the show on the road here to Lexington. Kentucky's not what they were last year. But getting 8 points at home, I know you like Florida in this game. I'm a little, I don't know about that.
What do you think, K-Dub? Break the tie.
Well, not only Kentucky is not what they are last year, they're not what they are last week. They lost their quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good
call. So I think I'm going to take Florida in this situation, definitely on those 8 right there on Florida.
And I'm calling the Gators out right here on Talking Sports. That's what we do. We call folks out. Either prove us right or prove us wrong. But I say right now, if Florida don't win this game by at least 10 points, I don't want to hear another Gator fan tell me the rest of the year they're a top 10 team, Kip. Take the Gators here, give up the 8. Legend putting his reputation on the line. The Gators get it done by 21 in this game and make a statement.
We only got about 20 seconds, K-Dub. Legend and I are about the only people in the country that are saying, we don't know about this Mississippi State team. A lot of people are high on them. What's your initial impression, and what about Kansas State?
Well, you know, playing those teams out there, I really like Mississippi State in this situation. Just due on being physical, more physical than a Kansas State team out in the Big 12. So I like the SEC in any kind of situation when you're playing the Big 12.
Back with more right after this. Back again here on Talking Sports. Kip and the Legend. K-Dub's our special guest. We need to tell you who this segment's sponsored by. A brand new sponsor on the show, Legend. And they're a legendary name not only in the equipment rental, the big equipment rental industry, but also in sports circles. We are proud to have Craneworks on board.
Yeah, Craneworks, I tell you, if you need any lift, you need any crane, you need a scissor lift, any kind of crane work, this is the place to go in the world. I'm not talking about just Alabama. Craneworks is known worldwide for being the leader in any kind of crane that you might need in your construction business, and they do so much more. I got a chainsaw from them. I got a scissor lift from them. I mean, these guys are just top of the line for equipment. Any equipment you need, give Craneworks a call. You won't be disappointed. These guys are like ZZ Top, Kip. They nationwide, baby.
They're big time. And again, great sports supporters have sponsored segments on talk radio shows, sports talk shows for years in Birmingham, so we are really proud to have them on board.
Yeah, they are awesome people, awesome people.
Let's move on to the favorite segment we have every week, K-Dub. It's Winner, steak dinner. We don't mess with chicken. Okay. We go right to the filet mignon.
Yeah, the steak's on the grill, baby.
The Legend gave 6 picks last week and went 5 for 6. What do you got for us this week, Legend? And K-Dub, anything you don't agree with, you just chime right in.
Well, you know me, Legend, been in the Legend Cave with David Legend. We've been digging all week, and we've come up with some great games for you. These are some early games. I really like Temple plus them 7.5 against Maryland. I know Maryland been showing out, but I think they come down to earth this week, and this is a Temple team prime for an upset. And Ohio State, team them with Ohio State right here on a 2-team parlay. Ohio State really showed me something last week with that defense and Justin Fields. I think they will dominate Indiana today. Take Temple, take Ohio State, bet a dime, win a quarter. The next one also is a 2:30 parlay. I love Army giving up them 17. We've seen Army.
They came so close to beating Michigan.
So close to beating Michigan. I love UCF minus them 7.5 against Stanford, my top 10 team. I believe in you, UCF. You're not a national champion. You're never going to be one, but I believe in you. They will whoop Stanford today. Put Army and UCF. Bet a dime, win a quarter. Them are my first 2 parlays.
So you got UCF over Stanford today.
Yes.
Yeah, and giving up 7.5.
And giving up 7.5.
So you willing to put are you putting your name on the line for that pick?
No, that's not a name on the line. I don't believe in you that much, UCF. Let's get it right now. That's not a reputation pick right there.
UCF is finally playing a legitimate opponent. The only problem is this Stanford team isn't as good as the other ones. My best bet last week, K-Dub, was USC to drill them in L.A., and they ran them out of the arena. So UCF just might be living the charmed life, but that's an interesting pick. What else you got?
I love Troy tonight minus the 1.5. Put that one down.
Southern Miss.
Yeah, against Southern Miss. And I love Florida over Kentucky. I think Florida really puts it on Kentucky tonight. I'm down on the bottom. I love Virginia to whoop up on Florida State. This is a really good Virginia team.
What are your thoughts on Florida State?
I agree on that. Florida State, they ain't hydrated. They thirsty. They thirsty right now. You got people lining up the wrong way, trying to confuse themselves, the opponents. They don't know who they're trying to confuse out there. So Florida State is a train wreck right now. And I'm with you on that, Virginia. I'm all over that pick right there.
Yeah, man, we said it right here on Talking Sports a couple weeks ago. Willie Taggart is a fraud as a big-time coach. He just ain't got it, Kip. He just ain't got it, and Florida State's wasting their time. But I tell you somebody who does have it, Mr. Jalen Hurts. Are you proud of Jalen or what, man? Come on, you got to give Jalen some love.
I'm going to tell you my personal situation. It feels weird. I'm watching my quarterback in a different uniform lighting it up. I don't know how to feel about it. But he's doing very good.
You guys had to love it. After the Louisville game when they interviewed him, he missed 3 passes out of 30. He ran for 200 yards, scored 4 touchdowns. And I'm really disappointed in my performance. We got to work on the process and the system. It was Nick Saban Jr.
Sounding just like Nick Saban. So I'm so torn between that decision. Of course, I love and respect everything Jalen has done for the University of Alabama, but it's just awkward watching him out there in that Oklahoma uniform.
Yeah, that's got to be hard to get used to. But he has been just superb so far. They go to UCLA, which is an interesting road game. But that's another team.
Minus 24. They're going to torch UCLA.
It's just another team from the Pac-12 that's just not any good. They got a big reputation. They've got a great history. But, Chip Kelly, what a train wreck he is.
That's another one that's you're just wasting your time, UCLA. Come on, get K-Dub and the Legend and the Kip. I'll come in as the OC. This is your DC. That'll be the head man right there. And in 5 years' time, we'll be on probation, but we'll win a national championship.
But we'll win some games.
You can get make money on your likeness now in California, so we can get a lot of recruits out there on that money deal,
that's
baby.
That's a good deal.
A lot of recruits out there.
Not surprised to hear that. Okay, I have a little slate of picks here, and we won't go over much of these. We already talked about a couple of the games. I like Kentucky with the 8. I don't believe in Florida yet. They're going to have to show me, and I'm not even from Missouri. The other game, UNLV stinks.
Yes,
they are
do.
terrible. They are a horrible football team. They're going to Northwestern, who's not anything to write home about, but Northwestern's going to kill them. That's my best bet of the week on the college slate. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more things, including the National Football League. We'll have that for you right after this.
Saturday morning, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is, baby. It's football time. Better than Christmas, better than Thanksgiving. We finna get down on some football. You know you love it. The time of the year you wait for, right here on ABC 3340, baby. We've been blowing it up, Kip, Alabama. I mean, just the games have been fantastic. I mean, what about it, guys? Are y'all pumped? I mean, is it Christmas time or what?
I'm definitely ready to go, man. First SEC game of the year. We finally get to play somebody that we think is a worthy opponent. Notice I said think, you know. I mean, this is an SEC team we're playing, so we're not playing any ACC teams. We're not playing any Division II or lesser team. This is an SEC team, so we're ready to go, man. It's time to roll.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What about you, Kip?
I'm ready to go. This week's a little disappointing, not a single top 25 matchup. But, sometimes historically, you know what that does? You see a couple of teams get shocked in these weeks where everybody says, this could be a boring week.
Better not be Alabama, I know that.
I'm
telling you, man, I ain't got time for that today, Alabama. It's time to get this work, baby. I'm telling you, it's time to get this work. And I'm ready to get it started, man. I know you are a legend. I know you are Kip. I appreciate you guys having me on, too.
You add a lot to the show. You are welcome
You do.
anytime. The great DJ K-Dub joining us today. All right, Legend, you're all decked out in your Baltimore Colts gear.
That's right. That's right, Andrew Luck. Just because you're in an Amish village somewhere, weaving a basket, don't mean that the legend and his bad hip and his bad knee and my bad elbow through 30 years of construction work ain't still a Colt fan. I'm sorry, Kim. I get a little excited about it. I'm 0-1.
The Colts are visiting the surprising Titans, who I told you last week on the show, the Browns are overhyped under terrible, terrible amount of pressure in their home opener, and the Titans are going to go up and hand it to them, and boy, did they ever.
Well, let me say this. My wife is mad at you too, Andrew Luck, because I was headed to Nashville this week, had planned it for a year, and because you retired, now my wife's mad at me. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
I got a quick slate of KK triple play picks on NFL this week. Guys, I like the Vikings going to Green Bay.
Love that.
The Green Bay win over the Bears was okay, but people say their defense played great. I don't think that. I think the Chicago offense was horrible. So that's an interesting thing. I also like the Steelers to get it together. They looked awful against the Patriots in the opener. They go home and play the Seahawks, who barely got by the Cincinnati Bengals at home. And the Falcons looked awful too. This is the teams that looked awful week. The Vikings literally ran them out of the stand. The Vikings only threw 10 passes the entire game. But the Falcons being back in Mercedes against the Eagles, who I think are overhyped too, and it's basically a pick 'em. That's my triple play this week.
Well, I kind of stay out the NFL picks, but I do agree with you. That Falcons game last week was nothing. That was terrible. I'm trying to be a Falcons fan to
Not me.
I got for my own personal reasons. R.I.P. Stud. He was a huge Falcons fan. And I'm trying to be a Falcons fan, but it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It is hard. All right, well, we're just about out of time, guys. Final thoughts on this Saturday?
Hey, it's football Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Pump it up. I want to turn it over to my man, the one, the only DJ K-Dub. Get us pumped for Saturday, baby.
Get us pumped. Let's do it, man. It's Saturday. It's time to turn up. Nick Saban. It's time to get those boys ready. It's time to go in. We ain't got time to play in South Carolina. No time for games. This is a business trip.
Yeah.
We ain't playing no games when we come.
No games.
Cocky. It's time to get cocked out of there.
That's right.
It's time for the Tide to roll, baby.
Choke that rooster.
Let's go, Alabama. Roll Tide, baby. Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Thank you for being on. It's going to be a great day in college football. It kicks off right after we go off the air. Pittsburgh at Penn State right here on ABC 3340. See you next week.